competition time. For a chance to win a Dublin Arsenal calendar, just answer the question that Eamonn is asking at the end of the podcast. Like, subscribe and put the answer in your comments and you have a chance to win this calendar. Good luck and come on, you Gooners.
Hello and welcome to the Irish Arsenal GOONER podcast. It's Tuesday, the 8th of February. I'm your host, Jonathan Giles. I'm joined by my regular guests, Eric Shadowins, Eamonn Donnelly, John Melia and Martin Stummvoll. How are you, lads?
Evening, Johnny.
Evening, Jonathan. Evening, everybody. Martin looks like he's in Joe Clark Sports there at the top of Cable Street.
Good evening, everybody.
Good to be back.
Good diplomatic answer
You
there.
have to be a certain age to know Joe Clark Sports, John. It was there at the junction of Cable Street and Bolton Street, and it was about 3 hangers. Yeah, that was brilliant.
There in Tony Ward's in Cathedral Street.
Tony Ward's in Cathedral Street. Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
Yeah.
As always, you can catch our show on Spotify and SoundCloud and also on the Dublin Arsenal Supporters Club YouTube channel as well. You can catch all our episodes there dating back from last March. On this week's show, we'll be previewing our upcoming game this Thursday against Wolves. Is that at home, is it, or away?
No, it's away.
It's at home, actually, sorry.
Away.
No, it's at home. Is it away?
Away.
Away it is. It's the game in hand.
It's not the game in hand. It's away. And
No,
we're
it's just
playing on the
don't
24th of
start
February.
me off here. No,
Okay.
it is
I'm
away. Sorry,
Hold on, Jonathan. I'm going to help you out here. And from the very first moment I saw you, closer each day, home and away, there is
This
a difference.
so frustrating, dude.
Frustrating, dude. Right, let's go.
Right, I was looking at the Wolves fixture list. Sorry, their DBS. Right, so
Wolves are at home, for their fixture
yeah.
list. That's
So we'll be previewing that game, and we'll also be doing Adrian Clark's top 10 goals at the end of the show. 49 we scored to date, so I'll get the lads to pick their top 3 from the list. So we play Wolves away on Thursday on BT Sports. Wolves lie 8 in the table, play 21 and have 34 points. We meet them 2 weeks then later at the Emirates. They've 6 clean sheets at the moment, and they're unbeaten in their last 5 Premier League games. They won 1-0 at Old Trafford on the 3rd of January, and they've been going about their business quite quietly under Bruno Lage. He's had a good first season there. Quite possibly could get Europe. It'd be definitely a tough game in Molineux. I'd go for a draw. Being honest with you, I think I'd go for a draw in that game myself. I'll start with John first. How do you see the game going, John?
It's going to be tight. As you said, Wolves have gone around the business and they've done it quietly under the radar. Not many people have actually paid much attention to them until the last few weeks. They're only 2 points behind us in the league. They beat us, they go ahead of us. I don't think they'll make top 4, but they're well capable of taking points off everybody around them. This is a game where we're hoping the players come back a lot fresher than when they went away before the break. We're hoping that break in Dubai has done the world of good. Players come back fit, ready to go, because they're going to have to be at their best to get anything out of this game. Definitely going to be a tough one. We always hope to win. You can really pick our first 11. We don't have a lot on the bench to come on to change things. But this Wolves team is going to be a tough nut to crack for everybody that plays them this season.
Eamonn, how do you see it going?
I think Wolverhampton is a great football town. Great players and great managers. Okay, first of all, it depends on how the reset. It depends on how the reset went, right? Because we went off to Dubai, as far as Arteta is concerned, and he's hardly going to espouse the negatives. We got a lot of work done over there. It depends on how we cope with the pressure of being in a 17-game foot race, and that's gonna instruct how the rest of the season goes, how we cope with that pressure. all joking aside, Wolverhampton is a great football town. It's a good place to go to watch a game. I was there. I think it was in the Unai Emery first season, and they absolutely smacked us 3-0. But we've had mixed results against the team. The manager has changed, but the team hasn't changed that much, right? And last year we absolutely played them off the field for 35 minutes, got a goal, and for some reason, the referee decided to play half a minute more than the injury time. Arsenal went into the dressing room while the ball was still on the bloody pitch. And we ended up with the comedy of David Luiz not fouling the guy, giving away a penalty, and getting sent off for his trouble, right? And the whole game. But Wolves let you play. I know they're very good defensively, but they do let you play, and they don't bombard you. And, I wouldn't be as downbeat now as you would be going away to some of the games. I think it'll be a good game to watch. I think both sides will have plenty of the ball. And this is a classic case of what we were saying a couple of months ago on this show. It's not about the Man Cities, the Chelseas and the Liverpools. These are the games that define you. The teams that you think you should be better than, even if they have a kind of a fairly even standard, these are the games you have to win. A bit like going away to Leicester when we thought we might get turned over there. We got at them early and we did our business. And after the reset in Dubai, you'd hope that we can get out there and get in at them and do our business. And, I think we're capable of winning the game.
Yeah, definitely their standout players are Neves, Coutinho, and Jimenez. I think if you stop down 3, you can get at them all right. Eric, how do you see the game going?
Yeah, I think this is an interesting game, especially at the back end of a break where Wolves did lose Traore. If you actually look at the season stats, I'd say Wolves is. I'm really doubtful that they'll have any challenge for Europe by the end of the season. I think they're a team that's ripe for regression. Now, obviously, that doesn't help us in a one-off game, but if you just look at their basic stats, they've only scored 19 goals all season. And when you think about Arsenal, a team that we complain doesn't score enough goals, we've still scored 33. I think they're one of the lowest scoring teams, less than a goal a match. And their goals against is what's keeping them kind of in the race. They've only given up 16 goals all season, but if you compare that to their XG, I think they're outperforming it by like 8 or 9 goals. So, if not more. So I'm somewhat skeptical that Wolves is going to be able to maintain this throughout the season. That said, I think that this is the sort of team where we should look to attack and really try to press home our advantage, similar to what as Eamonn mentioned, what we did last year. We really went at them in that first half and we dominated the match. And our only real sin that match is not scoring more than 1 goal before halftime. And I think we have to look to do the same here again, because I just don't think that they provide such a threat going forward that we should be doing anything but trying to outscore them. Overall, I think that this is probably one of those matches where if Partey and Xhaka can play well in midfield and dominate the ball, it gives us a real chance. Especially, when you have guys like Neves and Moutinho looking to do similar and break up play a lot. So I think that's kind of where this game is going to be won and lost. I also think, John mentioned that we don't have a ton on the bench, but I actually think we're going to have a lot more on the bench this match than we have all of January. If you think about it, at least we know Pepe will be on the bench. Probably somebody like a Smith Rowe or Martinelli will also be on the bench. And if they're not, that means Lacazette's on the bench, right? So we'll actually have a good bit more going for us to start this match and to finish it. So I'm feeling pretty confident. I think this is a match that we can really get something out of. I don't think it's going to be easy by any means, but this is a match that Arsenal should be going in looking to win.
Yeah, definitely a chance for the likes of Pepe and Nketiah to get themselves on the score sheet. Martin, how do you see the game going?
Yeah, I mean, exactly like what the guys just said. Like, it's going to be a tough game. Like, it's never easy to go to Wolves. The problem as well is it's kind of such an unknown now because, like, we didn't really play for so long. We don't know what the team is all about. Looking at the stats, like we had a horrendous January. We only scored 1 goal. Didn't win the game. They had like a very good run. Got beaten in the FA Cup done the last week. They have a few injuries, so like that Martinez Traore is gone. Jimenez coming back maybe now. They don't know yet. He's starting to train. They have a young guy and right back, I think, who came back in the FA Cup. So look, we don't know exactly what it is. And the only problem what I heard about our team is like that Tomiyasu is still injured. So that might be the case that Cedric is coming in the right. So yeah, let's see what it is. I mean, they've been long enough now in Dubai to kind of like play all the scenarios. Tomiyasu didn't go to Dubai. So they were playing like this. So like it shouldn't be an issue. But we just don't know what's happening. It's kind of like it's the unknown, the reborn Arsenal, hopefully. So let's see what's going on, and yeah, like it's going to be interesting because we're going to play them again in 2 weeks' time after that. So we play them at home then. So it's kind of like nearly like a cup game. Play them at home in Wolves and then home in the Emirates. So yeah, be an interesting game. But yeah, I think that might be something we can win. But I think it's going to be a very, very tight game. I'll probably go for a 1-0 or a 2-1. So yeah.
Yeah, last season, of course, we lost 2-1. It was a game where Leno got sent off.
Yeah.
I think we 2 sent off, hadn't we, that game? I think.
Leno, when David Luiz got sent off just before
halftime.
That's right, yeah.
and coughed up a penalty.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But the referee, there was 47 minutes and 30 seconds. He was gone 30 seconds over, and Arsenal headed off into the dressing room.
Yeah.
But they forgot the game was still on. They switched off completely. But we had absolutely shredded them before that. And in fact, if you remember that game, we nearly equalised with 9.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they scored early in the second half with Moutinho, didn't they? It was fairly early going the second half.
Yeah, long range goal. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to say, I'm pretty surprised at actually how well they've done under the new manager. They had a slow start like ourselves at the start of the season. They lost their first 3 games. And then since then, they don't score many, as Eric said, but they can grind out results. I particularly like the 2 lads at the back, Cody, and in particular Kilman. He's really impressed me. He seems to be.
Let me just come to Cody for a second. He's an excellent defender.
Yeah.
Like we don't have a centre forward, right? So Cody is brilliant facing the ball, when everything's going in at him. We have to move him about. And it looks like with the resources we have, that our forward line is going to be based on pulling people out of place and trying to create gaps for other players to get in, because we don't have the petrol, to kind of to do it from a centre forward position. So I mean, when Eric said about we may have I think Martinelli's a sure starter.
Yeah.
I think Pepe as well.
He may be,
or at least off the bench. I think this where he could terrorize.
So my only point there is that one of them is going to be on the bench, whether it's Smith Rowe, whether it's Martinelli, whether it's Lacazette. Those, like, one of them is going to be on the bench. Saka is 100% going to start if he's healthy, which puts Pepe on the bench, unless he starts at center forward. But either way, we're going to have a lot more juice coming off the bench than we have in previous fixtures.
I suspect what he might do is put Martinelli in a more central position to move Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you move Cody and you cause problems.
You have to get Cody out of there. You have to move him out of there because he's absolutely dominant. He's a bit like Jamie Carragher. He's dominant when he's standing in that central position.
Well, I think it's an interesting question. It's something John and I were actually talking about at the weekend. Is like how deep Lacazette drops. May actually pull people out of position even more, because the thing about Cody is he follows, right? Because he's looking to smash you. So I think that one of the things that might come out of this is just like Lacazette dropping deep might help open up that space, because then Cody has to choose: does he go with, or does he try to stay with the runner?
Yeah.
Just going back on that, I mean, we tried that against Burnley and they were quite disciplined defensively. And if Wolves are doing their scouting, they'll know let Arsenal have the ball wide, because they're going to swing in crosses like that. They'll be meeting drinking them all day. We cannot get back to that.
You're dead right, John. You're dead right. And that's why I think it might be Martinelli, because I think he might offer something different trying to do that, in terms of not just dropping deep into a channel, but kind of going left and right, at a lot quicker pace. Because you're going to have to try and do it.
We can't be swinging crosses in like we did against Burnley. They have to be aimed low and hard at the near post for hopefully runners running in. If we get back down to just swinging in aimless crosses, they'll clear them all day long.
John, just a question on that, because I think this is where I was trying to say at the start. Is like, don't you see the midfield being the difference then? Because we're looking at both Xhaka and Partey coming back in now.
Yeah, that will definitely be a big difference, definitely. But I just think we need to be cleverer, a little bit smarter. Wolves have been disciplined defensively, as you said.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying we can't be reduced to just swinging in those kind of crosses that we would reduce against Burnley. That's all.
And I also think like the way we played against Burnley wasn't too bad, but we were missing the midfield, and we ran out of gas, And that's kind of, I think that break what we had in Dubai, I think that really could make a difference. They should be all like fully full of energy, like like pumped up their batteries. And if we can take that energy, and they know exactly what they have to do now. They have 17 games. They know exactly where they're standing now. If they can take that system and, look, we can talk about Xhaka as much as we want. We missed him. We missed Partey, because before he went to AFCON, he played his best game. And if we can replicate anything like that and keep it going, because we ran out of steam against Burnley in the second half. We just couldn't move. And
Xhaka will probably be sent off for tying his laces for doing damage to the environment or something. Or he's certainly not in danger of his carbon footprint being over excessive, but like he might damage the environment by tying his laces or something and get sent off.
Michael Oliver, I think, is a referee, so it'd be interesting.
There's worse.
Well, look, our last image of him was him karate kicking somebody in the chest, and Michael Oliver sending him off. So hopefully he's learned his lesson.
Yeah.
At the moment,
I think we might do better if Jamie Oliver was reffing.
Cook up a storm.
The naked referee.
Cook us up a good result there, Jamie, would you?
Oh God.
As it stands, with Man United at the moment winning 1-0 at Burnley, they occupy fourth place with 41 points. It leaves us, if the result stays as it is, we'll be 5 points behind, and if Wolves beat us, which hopefully they don't, they'll have 37. They're at 34 points at the moment, so it's a kind of a must-win, to keep ourselves. But we still have that's with 2 games in hand still, So I'd like to see us try to get a victory there at Monu on Thursday. It's going to be a tight run up to the end of the season, I think, for those European places. That game, of course, is on BT Sport at 8:15 on Thursday, and we played them 2 weeks later then in the reverse fixture. So that's sandwiched in between the Brentford home fixture, which is on February the 19th. So you'd hopefully we can get 3 wins out of 3 out of them. You'd be expecting.
Certainly be looking for 7 points out of them 3 games. I always say, if you average 2 points plus per game, you'll be right in the business end of it.
If you keep your home form, Eamonn, if you can keep winning your home games, you stand a chance.
Totally.
Yeah. So we move on to I was just looking at I suppose kind of to fill in the 30 minutes of the show for the change. I was looking at Adrian Clark's top 10 on Arsenal.com. I don't want to throw them out there and guess the lads top 3 out of them, okay? So 1 was back by Saka's goal against Man City on New Year's Day. 2 is Gabriel Martinelli against West Ham. 3, Martin Odegaard versus United in December. 4, Eddie Nketiah's back heel against AFC Wimbledon in the Carabao Cup. 5 was Saka's goal against Norwich. 6 was Odegaard's free kick against Burnley. 7 was Aubameyang's finish against Spurs at home from Smith Rowe's run, and he assisted that one. Aubameyang finished off quite nicely. 8 was Nketiah's against Sunderland. 9 was Martinelli against Newcastle United at home. Eamonn was at that one. And then 10, he picked Lacazette against Southampton. It was the start-up play from Ramsdale all the way up, which was quite a nice goal, actually. I think I'd probably pick that as my number one at the moment. We've scored 49 at the moment to date, lads. That was his top 10. I don't know, start with Eamonn. What would your top 3 out of that top 10 be?
Well, in third place, I think the Aubameyang goal against Spurs, because of the way it happened and the effect it had in the game, right? Granit Xhaka won a kind of a dirty ball that might have been a foul, but he got turned.
Yeah.
I'm always going on about this. He got turned as he kind of went in with his body, and from then on, it was 2 passes, a run, and a goal, and it lifted the stadium out. Yeah. And it was important because we were going into that game under real pressure, and we got 2 early goals, and that really kind of lifted everything. So that'd be in third place. In second place for me would be the Martinelli goal against Newcastle, simply because I was in the West Stand that day, and when the ball came over his shoulder, I assumed it was going to go out for a goal kick. But he latched onto it unbelievably and had the presence of mind and bravery, to do it all in one. It was a brilliant goal. But the top goal for me, and I had the pleasure of sitting beside my friend and colleague on this show, John, and we were amazed that it. Southampton had played us off the park. Martin Stummvoll was managing them there. He had a suit on in the first half and a tracksuit in the second half, and it was pissing rain. But they had dominated us, and Aaron Ramsdale almost got closed down. But what happened after that, to me, it's the most important goal we got this season, because you could see the net effect of that goal was the team actually scratched their head and went, actually, this guy might be right. Telling us to play our way out, this might be the way to do it. Tomiyasu's 2 passes in that move, Partey's snap pass, and the finish by Lacazette, that to me was the top goal we got.
I'll go to John Melia. John, you're 3-1, John.
I'll start with number one. It's hard to disagree with Eamonn there on that goal. It meant a hell of a lot. I think I sort of agreed with him on that. The team sort of took a little bit of heart from that, and they just played Southampton out the park after. Southampton just stuck shell shock. I'm going to put a word in for Odegaard's free kick against Burnley. Probably we don't see enough free kicks from Arsenal at this stage. We don't see a hell of a lot, and that was just top class. Good away win. We usually give them away, but I just thought it was a fantastic free kick. And I'll give Saka's goal against City. We played absolutely outstanding against City, and this was the icing on the cake. It was a well-deserved goal, put us into a deserved lead. We know what happened. The sending off changed that game, but the belief that must have been going through that side when we went in 1-0 up at half time and with a goal like that. So there's my 3.
Martin, you're 3-1.
Yeah, look, there's only 10 goals you can choose, and then obviously Spurs goal is always nice. So yeah, that would be my 3rd. The Southampton goal, as Eamonn said, it's just the combination of it's a real Arsenal goal, isn't it? Nearly everybody touched the ball. It just went from the back, and he went through, and we just went through the paces, and everything went so nicely to, in the end, the goal itself wasn't that spectacular. It was just he put it in, but just the build-up was nice. But for me, what I really liked is the Martinelli goal against West Ham, because I think, as we said, the West Ham was a game where we went into and they good form, they beat Liverpool. We went in and everybody was kind of saying, well, we're going to get smashed here, And then we just, we really had probably the best game for me, what we played, and that goal what Martinelli scored it reminded obviously a bit of Thierry Henry, the side footing into the net, and just the way he go through as well. 3 passes and we're through. And yeah, for me that's kind of not probably the nicest goal, but I think an important goal. And that just shows for in general we can beat anyone, but it just depends what Arsenal turn up. So we have games where we just don't play. And in fairness, we didn't change our 11 that much, So yeah, interesting. Yeah, for me, West Ham definitely the most important goal for me for Martinelli.
I think before I move on to Eric, there's one goal that I kind of missed out on. There was a great team move as well, and John was at this. It was back in October against Villa. It was the Smith Rowe goal. It's a little flick on from Aubameyang, and then Smith Rowe just charging down the pitch. I thought that was a really top goal as well. You know, good team move. Eric, you're 3-1.
Yeah, so I think that like I have to give mention to the Newcastle goal by Martinelli. I thought that was maybe the highest quality one. I mean, as Eamonn said, the bravery in terms of he had to have known the keeper was coming, you know, and to be able to focus and get the connection right when that's happening is serious stuff. My other two favorites is sort of going to John and in the Man City goal, as well as the goal against West Ham that Martin just mentioned. I think that those are the two goals that, to me, made me the most excited because it shows where this team can go. Because it wasn't just the goal was high quality; it was we were dominant. We attacked them with such pressure that we eventually created something because we kept attacking. And I think both those goals were caused by turnovers where we won the ball back and then we're able to create something. And so to my mind, those are the types of things that I find really promising for where this team can get to, because we were able to really make the pressure pay over time, especially against West Ham, where we just kept attacking, and eventually that goal came. So to my mind, those were the two goals that to me I just loved from the way the team was playing and how that led to exactly what we wanted, which was, you know, taking the lead. And, you know, disappointing that the Man City goal didn't lead to more. But I just think that, you know, it shows where this team can go and where players like Saka and Martinelli really have the potential to end up being superstars.
Yeah, all top goals. Indeed, I suppose my 3-1 would be Aubameyang v Spurs, just for the way Smith Rowe ran at the Spurs backline and set up Aubameyang, who finished superbly. 2 will be Saka v City, just the way we played through City, and Tierney's through ball for Saka and the way he finished was superb. I thought we would have went on to win that game. We played that well, but sadly it didn't turn out that way. And then my number 1 would be Martinelli v West Ham. Superb goal. He was on cracking form that month in December as well. He was banging the goals in, so I thought that was my definitely my number 1 there. And a good top 10 by Adrian Clark as well. Anything else, lads, you'd like to mention?
Yeah, I'd like to ask a question, just for a bit of entertainment for all the listeners. What did the panel think was the best non-sending off? MacArthur's Jackie Chan impression on Bukayo Saka, or Ben Godfrey's Irish dancing impression on Tomiyasu's face.
I think Ben Godfrey would probably win it for me.
Because I still can't work out. But they cost us 6 points. Them two things, you know. I still cannot work out how either of them wasn't the same. And like, I'm done. I'm done with this whole VAR thing. It's really doing my head in. I'm losing sleep over it, you know. Which reminds me, the first job I had, folks, right? I was working up in the abattoir, right, up in North Circle Road. You might remember that, John. And they put me counting cattle in the morning. I was doing great. In the afternoon, they changed me to counting sheep, and I fell asleep and I got sacked.
But I tell you, it's actually a good question. Like, what I'm gonna use this for is gonna get this to the listeners, right? If you have an answer to this, so whatever is not sending off was the best one, leave a comment in the YouTube section, and we're gonna have a draw for the best comment for an Arsenal calendar, for like a Dublin Arsenal calendar. And we're going to put this up there. So, like, yeah, I would like to see, what
is that the Dublin Arsenal calendar, Martin, that gave me COVID over the Christmas? The one you handed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get free COVID and a test with it.
And also to the listeners,
COVID 22 calendar. Yeah.
your top 3 goals as well of
Yeah.
the season so far, and you can win a calendar as well. And we throw that out there as well, maybe. Yeah. To attract more listeners. Anything free, I'm sure we get more listeners in.
Yeah. If
So
you reach 1,000 on the YouTube channel, I'll give away a jersey.
Well, if it's
You get
free,
two-
Paul Brown will be in for it.
There's no match fixing here, lads. But when it
Hey,
comes
Mo, calendar come free on YouTube. Yeah.
if you raffle ticket, Paul Brown will have the number. My lord.
Sorry, listeners. We shouldn't be talking about our esteemed president in those terms. We all love him. Just
He's
to be
a
clear.
Yorkshire lass by nature,
Hi, Paul.
Very diplomatic answer, Eric.
just in case you're listening.
Yeah. He's the innocent one in all this.
Yeah.
Sorry. Is there anything else, lads, you'd like to throw up? That you've heard during the week or anything?
Just don't mess around with cats either. That's one thing we learned today.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Kurt
Zuma didn't have a best day.
We'll see everybody at the Riverbar on Thursday.
Yeah, I won't be there. I won't be there on Thursday night, but we'll see you soon. I'm going to the Brentford game the week after, so we'll see you in the Riverbar in a couple of weeks, folks. All right.
Okay.
Also, Burnley just tied it up.
Lovely.
Thank God.
1-1.
Lovely.
So good sign anyway.
Burnley did what?
It's 1-1 with United.
Excellent. Okay.
I'd like to thank my guests as always. Thank God. I'd like to thank my guests as always, Eric, Eamonn, John, and Martin for your contribution to this week's show. As I said on the top of the show, you can catch our show on Spotify, SoundCloud, and on the Dublin Arsenal Supporters Club YouTube channel, and also the Riverbar in Dublin City Centre is where the gang meet. So if you're around for the next few matches, that's where you can join them. On next week's show, we'll be reviewing the Wolves game and previewing the upcoming game against Brentford. So until then, thanks from me and thanks from our guests, and we'll see you next week.
Good morning, Jonathan.
Good luck.
See ya.
Hasta la vista.